Hey guys, good evening, good morning. I think we are live now. This is live Q&A. So any questions you have about Facebook advertising, just I see a few guys here: Prince, Neil, Michael. Guys, if you have any questions, please just drop them below, and I'll be answering them for you. And also, I have some questions for you guys for the basically the questions that we've collected from you previously. So I'll be answering those first of all, and then as we go, as you have any specific questions, just let me know, and I'll be answering them as we go. Hi Nikos, hi Ivan, hi Zach. Cool. So it's good morning for you, but it's evening for me now. Cool, guys. So the first question we've had previously submitted from Anton Byberg. So business manager have changed a bit in the last year. What do you think is the biggest change, and how do you work around this? The interface, is that better lighting now? I think we have some lights now. So the interface for the ads, for the ads manager, overall has changed a bit, and I personally prefer the old one, because I just resist change in some aspects, like everyone else, and it is more convenient for me to use the old one, and especially it's more convenient in terms of filters. So when you want to do filters on your ads manager, you want to see the stats more clearly, all of the important metrics, then it is very clear. For example, filter by selection just saves you few clicks, right? That's pretty much all there is, and just clearer to see all of the data. And so Ivan asked, so that's pretty much in my experience. That will just obviously change the interface and everything. If you can still use the old dashboard, then it's pretty much that's good thing to do. So Ivan is asking how learning work on ad account, ad account level, campaign level, or ad set level. Very good question. So learning works on the ad account level, on the campaign level, and basically learning happens on all three levels. But one important thing is that on the campaign level, it's pretty much most of the learning happens. So for example, if you have a campaign with a lot of data, let's say you spend 10, 20, $50,000 on it, then most likely if you put a new ad set inside of that campaign, it will just perform better right away. Whether if you for example, if you compare it to to the ad set, to the campaign that you just started from scratch. So for example, for us, we even added the existing CBO campaigns. And guys, those of you who've gotten my CBO training, I show you exactly how to do it. So there should be a link if you want to get the CBO training. Get it. It will be very useful and very helpful for you. Basically the campaign learns, right? And you don't want to lose all of that learning, because every time you start a new campaign, you start the whole learning from scratch. So if you have let's say 50 different campaigns, and if it's CBO, let's say $50 a day budget, it's just a lot of math, right? And a lot of learning that you can avoid and you don't have to pay for. So hope that makes sense. Just simplify your account structure and you will do well. So MD is asking how to get blue tick on my page and profile. I think there are some people that can help you with that. I was approached several times. I haven't done it yet. For me, it's I haven't seen specific reason to do it. But if you know someone who can help you, and you can apply through Facebook forum, most likely they'll not get back to you, but maybe you'll get lucky. Then you can go for it. So another question here: are you still doing dropshipping 2020? Yes, dropshipping is still viable, good business model, profitable business model. The only thing that changes is obviously you have to provide better customer experience because of the page feedback scores. So you have to be more careful how you advertise products, because Facebook is more strict. So you have to pay attention to those parts, but it's still viable model. So we have a program where we show students how to scale their dropshipping and e-commerce businesses, and our students do very well. Like one of our students is close to $1 million this month in sales. So this is still viable model. So Alex, can you suggest me, Brian is asking, hi Alex, can you suggest me how to do Facebook marketing for birthing centers? Your advice will be helpful, man. So this is good. This is good. I think this is good niche. If you have this like niche, and you, I don't think many people go for it, like for this particular niche. Like first of all, you would do targeting by, if it's like local, like in some area, and most of the clients, they come from like local area, then marketing will be quite simple, because you will just focus on specific age, where people typically, have kids. So like 25 to like 35 to 40, and then you just focus on that range and focus just on a specific area, and you have like a specific like offer for those people, how to, like 5 tips on how to choose the proper like birthing center, right? Something like that. And you advertise that lead generation offer, and then you reach out to those people and you offer them like a free kind of maybe a review of the facility or something like this. So you offer something of value to those people. So Oliver is asking, hello Alex, would you recommend, how would you recommend to do ads for supplements on Facebook? If you watch like Facebook and how like overall it's evolving, it becomes more strict on supplements. You have to be like very careful, and for example, if you do any kind of like subscription, you have to be upfront about it. And overall, in terms of the marketing for an ads, I believe you need to have some kind of like like either utilize influencers and associate it with certain like lifestyle, not with just features of the product or kind of like specific formulas, but also a lot of the influencer marketing and a lot of the maybe there's like a person behind the brand that you can utilize as kind of like the brand face. So kind of like associating your company and your brand, not only with the product itself, but with a specific person, or with, if it's like influencers, many people kind of like associating it with lifestyle. That's the way to go. And that way you can be softer on your advertising. You can be not as kind of like aggressive with claims like lose this much weight and stuff, but you can associate this way more like with movement of people that are, like for example, having like healthy lifestyle and doing these supplements as part of their lifestyle, not as a, so focus pretty much changes from the product itself to kind of like more a bigger picture, like community, lifestyle, those kind of things. So that's what I recommend you do. Egg is asking, should we really only use CBO? We still can avoid that by doing one ad sets and one ads for each campaign to test ads or ad sets or ads menu, right? Yeah, ABO is still available. They promised like many times for that they'll make it mandatory. So now February comes, and that's where Facebook said like they will make it mandatory. We'll see what happens. So you can still, if ABO works for you, I would not recommend just like do like one campaign, one ad set, one ad, because this, again, it creates like a huge complexity with your advertising campaigns like overall. So for example, if you want to have, let's say like 20 different, you want to test like 20 different ads, in this case, you would need to have like 20 different campaigns, right? If you want to test like, I don't know, 50 different ads, you'd have like 50 different campaigns. So it doesn't make sense to always like restart from scratch. You'd have less campaigns, let's say one campaign, then you would put all of the assets inside of that campaign, and also one ad, one creative is not enough. In my experience, you would need to use like 3-4 different creatives to identify what's resonating better with audience, and also not to saturate the audience that you have. So because if you're constantly hitting the audience with the same ads, the same ad, they're more likely to kind of like stop responding to the ad, and you'll have the ad fatigue. So hope that makes sense, Ake. Just simplify your account structure, less campaigns, put ad sets inside of that one campaign, and test few ads in each of the ad sets. So then you have kind of like proper account structure. Jeremy from YouTube is asking, what's the best strategy for 2020? Yeah, if you can be more specific for that, please. Ivan, thank you. Abdullah is asking, what's the future you see from your vision about Facebook ads and AI? What's the advice you can give you to update it with the Facebook user experience? Like, I mean, overall, like Facebook will be more and more streamlined. It will not need a lot of management from your side as media buyer. So all of those like targeting things, all of these kind of like strategies for like advertising, like how to set up the ad sets in a specific way, like all of these things will be like less and less relevant. And what will be more relevant is pretty much the creative and the ads themselves, right? Because Facebook can now, like our most successful campaigns, they don't have any targeting at all. Like they just have country, gender, age, and that's it. And the audience can be like 100 million, and Facebook is capable of finding buyers in those huge audiences and still be efficient and still be profitable. So if Facebook can do that, then it just shows you how powerful that is, how powerful Facebook is in finding buyers. So yeah, and it just shows you that it's pretty much everything comes down to the creative in that case. Because if Facebook can do all of the like ad set like level optimization pretty much, and it's all like very streamlined, then you just have to take care of the ad, of the angle, of your marketing messaging, of the lifestyle that you kind of like how you position your ad overall. So that's pretty much the major thing you have to be focused on moving forward, in my experience. Hi Victor, yeah, thank you, man. Jay Drager, so are your stores affected by coronavirus? Yeah, we had some delays definitely in shipping. Some of the orders are not shipped yet. And pretty much we had to notify customers, and we had to pretty much offer them like free gifts for the waiting. So that's pretty much what mostly has changed, how it was affected. And obviously we don't know like where. I'll release like a separate video on this on my YouTube channel. Just please subscribe and pay attention. Just turn on the notifications on my YouTube channel to make sure you don't miss it. I'll try to release it today or tomorrow. What element is the most important to grab the attention of people in the creative level, and what is the most successful type of scroll stopper for you? Very good question, and very specific question. Very good. So basically, in terms of the grabbing the attention, using people's like humans' faces, and especially like smiling faces, I found that's like one of the most effective things that you can do. So if you can utilize, and pretty much every product can use the human faces, doesn't matter like what the product is. And what is the most successful type of scroll stopper for you? It's pretty much either the problem, like demonstration of the problem, or it is just basically showing the kind of like the solution right away. So pretty much like just two types that you can utilize. Obviously there are more, but these two will just do majority of the work for you. As a starting point, if you're looking for the like scroll stoppers, I would recommend just to just go and spy on some of the like companies that like advertise heavily on Facebook, especially like e-commerce brands, not dropshipping, but e-commerce brands, like for example a Shaper Mint or like Snow Tease Whitening. They have good creative, they have good scroll stoppers, they advertise the lifestyle, they advertise kind of like the feeling of the community, they have story. I mean, that's kind of the advertising you want to emulate moving forward, in my experience. Not just straight kind of, for example, typical like dropshipping ads with like emojis and stuff. And he's asking, when you're testing new product on CBO campaign, do you test it only in Facebook feed and Instagram feed, or try all platforms like in streams? Thank you. So very good question. Mostly we do just like all placements right away. We don't want to like complicate it. We don't want to. We want to just keep it simple, and just let Facebook to do most of the work. Is POD still worth it? Margins are definitely low. Like, I mean, in my experience, like if you have, for example, your own manufacturing, if you control the whole cycle, if you can increase your margins with that, then definitely it can be worth it. If you work with like third party like supplier, I personally don't know people that are like, for example, Printiful or something like that. I personally don't know people who make that work and that they're profitable with it. So if you have if you can produce your items, if you can negotiate the pricing of your items and printing the items, then it's definitely like worth the model. I mean, again, for example, there are a lot of like POD brands that are created by let's say influencers that have an audience, right? And when they launch something, it's pretty much like a let's say a typical like standard t-shirt, but it just has like some logo on it or some kind of like image, nothing complicated, right? But it sells very well because, again, what we just discussed earlier, because they have that brand equity, right? Because people trust them, because there's lifestyle associated with it, because there's some identity that people want to accept as part of that purchase, right? And that's pretty much, so POD is still worth it, but not in a typical like, let's just go to Printiful or other platforms. I mean, those are awesome platforms, but like the margins you'll get with those are just not enough for you to be able to afford advertising, at least on Facebook. And that's in my experience. So if you know someone who's done well, like go and learn from them. I personally don't know people who do POD through that model and do it well. Ake is asking, how do you structure your CBO campaign, by the way? I think like, there are several ways of structuring CBO campaigns. We have the full training on CBO that you can get. We have, how many frameworks we have? We have like several frameworks there. We have frameworks for testing, for optimization, for scaling, also some other things to get the most of your lookalike audiences. So you can just get it, and pretty much like everything is streamlined, everything. And also if you want to just cheat sheets that we use for structuring our CBO campaigns, we'll drop it now in the chat. So can a single pixel be used in general store for several different products? How is pixel optimization in this case? Yes, just one pixel for many products. We do it and it works. Hello, fellows. Andreas. Validity is asking, best way to work with e-commerce ads, can you guide? I mean, it's kind of a bit broad question, so you would have to be a bit more specific. Typically, the starting point for me is to identify what kind of like market you want to hit and what kind of the major angle, the major message you want to communicate with your particular product. That is always the starting point. And if you have the competition in the space that you want to enter, then you want to spy and identify how they're advertising their products, why they are successful, and what you can learn and what can you emulate from them as a starting point. And then over time you can adjust and find your unique angle. Or if you already have some proof of concept with your unique angle, then you can just advertise. But as a starting point, you have to learn from what's already working. Andreas is asking, congratulations, Alex, thanks for all of your gems. Thanks, man. Modas is asking, is it good to use the same pixel in 2 stores? Definitely. I mean, if you have well-performing pixel, you want to share it 100%. Ella is asking, hey Alex. We've had a conversation yesterday, man. Hey, so have you heard of anything more about the virus, and what is your opinion on running ads or pausing ads? Not clear yet. I'll release like a full video on this. Not clear yet what is kind of like happening. Cities are still locked down, and it's like seems it's just getting more locked down than before. So we'll see what happens. In 1 week, about February 9, I guess suppliers start to work full force. Some of the suppliers already have some, can still fulfill items, can work with certain factories. Still, there's regulations that don't allow certain factories to release items. So I'll keep you guys updated on that part, and also release the video to explain what's happening from my sources of information. So Emmanuel is, so hello Alex, thanks for tips so far. I have a question, problem question, successful running over 1 month with ROI of 6-7. When upscaling over 100 euros per day drop, ROI drops basically to 1-2. Target group is 1-2 million, upscaling 20% every 7 days. find your sweet spot. So Emmanuel, very good question. So find your sweet spot in terms of the budget for a specific campaign or for a specific ad set. If that's performing well with a certain budget, just keep it there. Don't touch it, right? Like, and so it's kind of like with Facebook, it's like that. Like every ad account, and we just had a conversation with one of my students. So he's also been experimenting a lot with daily budget, for example. And it just like some ad sets will just perform with, let's say, $50 a day budgets. Other ad sets would perform well in the same campaign with 250 ad set budgets. So you'd have to find the sweet spot. And if you see something that is like working well for you, don't touch it, let it run, and just make the most out of it. And at the same time, in different ad sets, test new things that you wanted to test, like new audiences, new budgets. If you do CBO, like you can do like another CBO campaign and see if you can get better results with that, but just don't touch something that is working well. Brian, thank you, Brian. So SHUS, so very interesting name. So recommend any US suppliers during the China issues. So there are like AliExpress suppliers, they can from China, so you can check those. And there are certain like US suppliers. Obviously, margins will be much lower with those, and that will also depend on your product. So in the industry, there are rules: sell right away, start with purchase, prospect first, and after that sell. What do you prefer? I mean, I just start with purchase, just totally different traffic. We tried like prospecting, and after that like retargeting, and I haven't found that to be like effective like in a combination. If we go straight for a purchase, we can even we can get video views and engagement like as a buy side, but also we are optimizing for purchases, so we're getting purchases. We're getting better quality traffic. So I'm starting modeling, not a big actor, just starting. How to use Facebook ads to get more audience, to get more followers from a page. Can you please tell the process? So I mean, that depends on your audience, right? Who you want to attract. Like if your goal is to attract basically find people who are like decision makers, then you have to be like more precise and like target those people specifically with a message that would be attractive to them. Like if you want to pitch them in some way, if you want to just to like grow your audience, then basically you'd have to share something that is valuable for that audience, right? So you would have to share something that would attract the audience. And there are a lot of like if you started modeling, you probably have someone to model. So just find someone to model, identify what those people do and do it the same way. Identify like what they do like well, what they do like not well, like just reverse engineer what's already working. Start from there, and then from there you'll be able to identify your unique like angle, your unique path from the feedback that you're gathering from the marketplace. Ake is asking, how much budget should we use for CBO product testing campaign? That depends on your budget. So typically like budget for CBO like 100, 150 that we do. That's typically a very good starting point. I know some people do like even like $10, $20 CBO campaign. From my perspective, just like too low budget to get to get sufficient data. Dong Wu is asking, hi, where are you from? I'm from Ukraine originally. So Gabriel is asking, can a single pixel be used in a general store for different products? How is pixel optimization in this case? I think I've answered this question. You can use the same pixel for multiple products, and it works well. Then, for example, let's say you do that, you do like one store, you do one pixel, and then let's say you want to scale and you want to get more like attention for kind of like more targeted audience. You can just start another ad account with a separate pixel, and you can run that that product on the like one product store or kind of like a niche store, right? So this way you can segment it, but testing products, like running products, can be highly effective just with one pixel on a general store. Guys, all the questions, okay, all right. At dropshipping targeting UA countries, they have to pay VAT for a product sold after a certain amount. You would have to see like regulations in your particular country, and you would have to consult with someone qualified to help you with that. I'm not qualified accountant, so unfortunately, so I won't be able to help you with that particular question. So talk to someone. You can talk to like big consulting companies like Deloitte, for example, or you can talk to an accountant in your country or in the country where you want to advertise. Ask for recommendations. Even in our group, like on Facebook Ads Rockstars, just drop the question, and maybe people will recommend you someone who can assist you in this case. Philip is asking how coronavirus will affect dropshipping in your opinion. It's still unknown. Obviously it already affects, because a lot of like factories are delaying shipments and stuff. So and obviously people cannot work in certain cities, so it definitely like it is definitely like impacting. It's just like what's unknown is that how much it will last, right? How quickly they'll be able to handle this, and just things will be able to get to the normal. If not, there will be other solutions. Every time something like that happens, it's like there is always like another way. People always figure out like ways to overcome it. It's like like with everything. So humans are very adaptable beings. So Henry Leo, hey Alex, I came across your channel recently, have purchased your ultimate CBO blueprint. There's so much valuable info inside. Thank you very much, Henry. Yeah, I'm currently targeting worldwide with no interest at 5K a day, and it's doing well. Will performance die over time? And do I need to go back to interest and lookalike? Very good. So you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. Like you're just like opening the targeting, no interest, and big audiences. So this is awesome, man. So performance definitely dies over time in certain like ad sets and campaigns. And what you need to do in that case is, if it's like CBO campaign, then you can just add, and in my training I show you exactly how to do it. Basically add new ad sets into it, right? Just add new ad sets, and you can definitely test interest and lookalikes. Obviously some interests are like huge, like online shopping, for example, or engaged shoppers. I mean, those can be also very effective. So you can just do those. And so yeah, I mean there's nothing like for example, you can do broad targeting, right? And at the same time in another campaign you can do more specific targeting, like audiences and lookalikes. So there's obviously all depends on the kind of the capacity for your product. If this is like wide appeal product that pretty much every person would buy, then you can just advertise with different campaigns, different targeting, and just find what's working according to the metrics. And and typically the performance, so just for you to know, like 5K a day, awesome. So after like $5,000-$10,000 a day, typically the ROAS kind of like drops a bit, in my experience at least. So what you want to do is you want to share the pixel with another ad account and run another ad account. You might do the same targeting, like very open, or you can do the interest and lookalikes with another ad account. So this way you can spend a lot more. So that's how you can overcome it. Hello Alex, Almadim is asking, what schedule our days during the week you suggest for e-com in the EU? What days are not worse for running ads at all? Just run throughout. Like let Facebook optimize it. And if, for example, based on the data that you have, it's not based on some of the assumptions you have or I have, based on the data that you will get. Let's say you see that during, let's say, like Monday to Wednesday you get more sales, or let's say Monday to Thursday you get more sales, then you can spend more money and you can just turn off the ads or lower the spends or just optimize more aggressively during other days. But this will come down from the data that you receive. So if product converts, it typically converts, and Facebook will try to optimize it to show it on the right dates for the right people, So this will be just this will just again just like give Facebook that opportunity to optimize, because it's very smart, and it can do this whole optimization for you. So yeah, guys, join my Messenger channel. So here is like pretty much all of the things that are released, like all of the like interviews. We have interviews with people that do like amazing things, and we do interviews with experts and thought leaders, and also we share like a lot of like tutorials and great insights, not only like Facebook advertising, but overall like business training. So yeah, just sign up for that Messenger channel. It's totally free. So how to deal with FB turbulences? I've seen many times patterns day after your ROAS is unusual and far above average. Most of my best campaigns are choked and not working at all. So it's like you'd have to get used to. You'd have to live in the average, right? That kind of like average. Let's say you take like average for the last like 3 days, and campaigns will fluctuate, right? So you'd have to find like if it's like, okay, let's say today is like 2.5 ROAS, like tomorrow is like 1.5 ROAS, day after is like 2x ROAS. So you'd have to find the average point and just to live with that. That's pretty much it. And that's one way to approach it. Another way to approach it is to be like to handle these inconsistencies is just to not focus on Facebook that much, but focus on your funnel. Focus on the, let's say if you're selling just like one product, see how you can sell bundles, or if you can utilize quantity breaks so you can make more from each transaction, and you can be profitable by default, right? So you can be like, so let's say you're spending, let's say $1 per click, right? And that doesn't change. I mean, well, that might fluctuate, but you're still spending like $1. So how you can get more value out of that $1? So maybe you can improve your funnel. You can add few upsells into it. You can add like SMS bump. You can do like email marketing more aggressively, so you can maximize the value that you're getting from every customer that you have. So this is the way to tackle the Facebook turbulences, in my experience. If your product is very like fluctuating, it means and when it's dropping, it's not profitable for you. It just means your margins are very low. So which is the issue by itself, right? So then you need to either work out the way to like either position your products to be like perceived more expensively and sell it with higher margins, or source products kind of like more like cheaper, right? So you have to think about not just from like how to get this like Facebook ads thing to work, but how to get your overall business and funnel to work. So that's what I would recommend. I just look at that from like overall perspective. So Jeremy is asking, what strategy do you currently use from testing ads and running conversion campaigns to scaling? So we do like ABO for like initial like validation. We still do ABOs. We identify which interests are working. We put those into CBOs, and then we scale CBOs by adding new assets into it. Also by testing new CBOs with higher budgets. That's pretty much like very simple and very simple like way how we do it. This scaling will come down to the creative and how strong your ads are, and pretty much how your funnel converts. It's pretty much will come down to those things. So if you cannot scale, like for example, again, if your profit margins, like the moment you start spending more, if your profit margins just like suddenly drop, it means like your margins are just not good enough, right? So you have to work on that. You have to optimize your funnel, your ads. And I mean, if you want to get like comprehensive help on that, there should be a link somewhere. You can schedule a call and we can work with you like on more personalized level and basically help you to put all of those metrics where they need to be. So because you always have to think like, so it's obviously, our community is about Facebook advertising and you guys are awesome advertisers, but you have to think about this in a perspective of like business owner, and kind of like having all of these like different moving parts into it, not just, okay, there's like Facebook and it has to work, right? Facebook ads like with amazing product, with a good funnel, like the most like lousiest ads, just image, like for example, we've been selling certain products, like very simple image, nothing sophisticated, very simple ad copy, and it would just work and would get like 4x return on ad spend. But few things, right? Like the average order value, for example, with that product was $150. Then people actually wanted the product, so website converted, and it's pretty much covered for all of these like lousy, Facebook advertising issues, right? So kind of like you have to think about this in this perspective. Maybe your product is not scalable, maybe your business is not scalable, so you have to like break it down and just remove emotional attachment, which is very difficult to do, and think about this in a very kind of like analytical perspective. So in the industries they're like, okay, so that's this one I have answered. How many countries for broad targeting and stacked lookalikes? Amadim is asking, how many countries for broad targeting and stacked lookalike ad sets is working best for e-com and EU? I mean, in one country, like each country, like in European Union, let's say you can probably get it to like $500,000 a month in sales. From 2 to 500,000. For example, some of the students in our program, if you want to join our program, there should be a link. You can schedule a call and we'll basically see if it's good fit. So basically some of our students in the program, they do $600,000 per month in sales in the Dutch market, in a country that has, I don't know how many people like in Netherlands. I don't know, it's either like 10 or 17 million, not very big country, not very big population, $500,000 per month in sales profitably. So you can keep it very simple. Focus on one country, figure it out, get it to like $200,000-$500,000 per month, then move on to the next country. Broad targeting works, lookalikes works. Like you'd have to test what works specifically in country. If your product sells, if people want your product, and the way to see whether your product converts and whether people want it is very simple. You can just divide the number of purchases for every particular ad set by the amount of unique link clicks, and you will see the exact conversion rate you're getting for the product, and you will see whether your product actually converts. So that's very simple. How long you're testing new ad sets within CBO campaigns before you move the winners and scale them up with new campaigns? I mean, they can run there. Like typically, I'm looking for like 3 days of consistent performance. After that, we move them to new to CBO campaigns. But then, if they're performing well in that, like let's say, they're performing well in old campaign, then we just keep them running. If they're not performing, we kill them. So it's kind of like depending on the performance. We just use KPIs to measure the performance and pretty much like not to overspend. If something stops working, we kill it. If something works, we adding more budgets to it. So that's pretty much how we approach it. So what if they're not working with a new campaign? To start them again within past campaign or just skill? They probably, okay, that's part of the same. Yeah, so for example, depends on how much data you have for that particular product, right? If for example you have the data that's certain product works with let's say certain product like works with, like for example, your competition, like advertising like aggressively, right? If so the product, the product works, then you've been through your funnel, you added the necessary upsells, post-purchase upsells, you ordered the SMS marketing, email marketing, so you kind of like maximized your funnel metrics, so you're getting the most out of like each click and every like customer that you're getting. In that case, I mean, first of all, in that case you should be profitable. Second, if they're not working within that campaign, then you would just yeah, you would just like reactivate them within like the campaign you've had before, within the old campaign. So oftentimes what you have, let's say you have like lifetime data, let's say you had campaigns like 2-3 months old that have like good data. What you would do is just like go back and just reactivate the lifetime stats on it and just reactivate it. Oftentimes it would just like catch up in performance right away because it already has the learning on the campaign level, on the ad set level. So you just reactivate it and it would start performing right away again. Yeah, guys, if you have friends who might be interested, share this stream with them. Steven Goldman, how would you best advertise VSL, book a call, coaching program funnels? Just basically long form copy on the front end, image, that's it. Like very simple. On Facebook, I would recommend, if you would do something like that, to look into YouTube advertising. That might be more efficient for you. That's something not as competitive as Facebook right now. So for example, we advertise on YouTube and we advertise on Facebook right now, and it seems like YouTube is getting better results for us, specifically for the training program that we are offering. So I would look into that. And Steven, hit me a message if you need more insights on that. Thanks for the answer. Thank you, Ami. I need to make Stripe. I'm living in UK. What can I do? I don't think you have any issues like opening Stripe account if you're living in UK. Just go to the website, register. So and I mean, it should be easy. The only thing was that is like you would have to see what kind of like payouts. For example, in your, like, let's say in the United States, you'd have the payout time of like 2 days, 1 day, depending on kind of like what structure you have. In UK, it's either 3 days or 7 days. If it's like 7 days, it's not as efficient, obviously, because you're waiting for 7 days to get your money. Let's say you're making, let's say, $10,000 a day in sales. Pretty much you have $70,000 locked into that, locked from your cash flow cycle. So you cannot scale that fast. And obviously, if you have the overhead, kind of like your business is kind of like stuck. And then if Stripe disables your account, then you have $70,000 locked in there. So watch out for that. If that's just too slow, then open US, open like LLC in the United States, and advertise from there. Mohammed is asking how to avoid PayPal and Stripe hold or ban. I have videos on my YouTube channel like how to avoid that. Provide tracking information, attach tracking information for every order in PayPal. I've recently mentioned one of the apps that you can use for that. Just check my YouTube channel. It's called 3 apps that you should utilize in 2020 or something like that. Check that out. It has the app to basically populate the tracking numbers into your PayPal, so your customers can get the tracking numbers, and they can be like they know that they'll get the product, they can track it. At the same time, PayPal basically sees that you're actually shipping orders and you have delivering good customer experience. Stripe hold or ban. Don't do like very quick scaling. Don't go from like $1,000 or let's say from $1 to like $10,000 within like 1 day, even if it's like everything performs well for you, because for them it's a sign of something is like happening, something is sketchy. So just scale more gradually. So from the testing phase, how many creatives you create? Ad copy, videos, thumbnails. So typically we have like 4 creatives. We start with thumbnails because that's the easiest part to test. Then we start with just like 1 ad copy as a control, and we want to identify the thumbnail if something works with our control, with the thumbnails that we have, because that's the easiest thing to test. After that, we test the first 5 seconds to improve based on that. So that's kind of like how we gradually test and test pretty much like test new elements. So Victor is asking, can you give some advice how to approach e-commerce in a long-term way? Because I realized that stores products eventually die. I wasn't being able, or I didn't found the way to make it sustainable. Yeah, so pretty much like the way you have to think about this is like products die, they go in cycles, right? So they go in cycle. Product sells, obviously everyone jumps on it, like, you know, it's kind of like market like saturates a bit, and everyone is pretty much using the same creative and the same ads. You know, everyone like just repurposing the same stuff that's available on YouTube. Not many people like actually create new content, and that's a major issue because, you know, content is all you have for your ads, right? Like, let's say you've emulated the funnel, like everything is kind of like streamlined, your website converts, then pretty much it will come down to your creative. So what you would need to do is, like, obviously every product has its potential, right? And so if that's what happens with you, let's say you made like $10,000 in sales or $50,000 in sales with a product and then it died, it's all right. You know, you can either develop a process for like testing new elements of that ad, maybe new angles, new creatives, new first 5 seconds of the ad to kind of like get the most out of it, and find the ads that actually you can squeeze another, like, let's say $10,000 with, or you just develop a process for testing new products and finding new winners. So that's pretty much how you can do it. So yeah, thank you, Tony. Thank you, man. Eric Skoglund. Cool. Yeah. Glad to have you here, guys. So Zach is asking, can I fully depend on Facebook, Instagram to bring me customers? What other channels should I diversify in? Zach, I don't know your exact like niche that you're in. Like if you're in the service business, probably it is like YouTube. Like YouTube is good traffic source. Google, it's always been. I mean, it's a huge advertising platform. So I don't know your exact niche, but that's most likely where you have the opportunity to expand and not be dependent just on Facebook. So Gabriel, can a single pixel be used in a generic store for several different products? How is pixel optimization in this case? Yeah, this is the third time, I guess, this question is being asked today. You can use a single pixel for a general store, and then if you want to expand at that, you can just like open like a new ad account, new pixel, and put it on a new like one product store or niche store with that particular product, and just expand it from there. Have your own offices in Poland? Yes, we do. That's where we are now. Yes. Slowly. Okay, Andreas. Yeah. Okay. Do you adjust the minimum ad spend when you see an ad set is doing really great? Minimum ad spend, like, so what we do, like if ad set is doing like really well, so we might increase the budget on it, and so might increase the budget for like 20% a day, or we might just duplicate it with, let's say original asset was like $20, we might duplicate it to $100, $150 and see how it converts, because the less assets you have, like basically the less complexity you have in your account, right? So you want to have as less campaigns, as less assets as humanly possible, and then just focus all of your attention on the creative, right? Just pretty much have it like all consolidated. This way Facebook is the most consistent and profitable in my experience. Rashid, I've answered your question a few minutes ago. We have recorded for it. Okay. Muhammad, all right. Charles, Alice, is it recommended to turn off non-performing ad sets and ads during CBO scaling? Yeah, definitely, like turn it off. I mean, if something is just like eating money, let's say you spent $300 in a certain ad set and it didn't get you any sales, just kill it. You can kill the ad set or you can kill the ads. I mean, both are okay. John is asking, do you willing to take someone that done dropshipping without a big budget as one-on-one as your student? I I mean, you'll need like $2,000 to $5,000 on advertising, in my experience, to kind of get momentum with dropshipping, to take it to profitability. But yeah, I mean, if you have the experience, that might be less than that. And if you want to do like dropshipping, you need to have like a good like cash flow or source of income, so you're not only dependent on that, so you're not just like hoping that this will work out. So because it might take some time, and so that's what's important to understand. If you're ready for that, then definitely apply. There should be a link somewhere here, so you can apply, and we'll see if we can help you to and basically work with you. How much should I use for testing product? Depends on your budget. So it could be from like $10, from $100 just to like get initial, see kind of like the initial metrics. If metrics are very bad, if people don't want to see the product, don't want to buy the product, or it might be like up to like few $1,000s. If, for example, you're 100% sure that the product will sell, you see other people like advertising very successfully with it, and so you're just willing to spend money to figure out the winning angle, the winning message, the winning ads for that product, and in that case you can spend like up to a few $1,000s. A sweet spot typically for the product is like $200, $300. That's what you will see if product actually converts. Let's say you get like 100 clicks, or let's say you get like 300 clicks, you only get one sale. It means that product just doesn't convert. In that case, that's pretty much will be hard to make it work, whatever, like even if your ads are perfect but the product does not convert, then it is hard to make it work. Rashid is asking, I need to make Stripe. Okay, we've had this question before. Alex, Philip is asking, how else is possible that Facebook sends bad traffic to my store after disabling and reactivating my ad account? For sure, 100%. See if you can make it work, if it improves like over time. If not, you'll have to move to another ad account. You'll have to move to new ad account, and it's pretty much like with new payment method. Maybe your domain got flagged, so you'd have to change the domain and new Facebook page. Hey Rexy, hey boss, how many countries per assets for birth? Okay, I think I have answered this question. What's the best way to start e-commerce with low budget, Facebook ads or influencer? I'm familiar with Facebook ads. I know some people do it with influencers. If you're low budget, like identify the source of the cash flow and focus on that first. Get some budget. Like it's best if you have like higher budgets. So some great mindset book suggestions. Yeah, Psycho-Cybernetics, very good book. I mean that's a major one. And then the Often Wrong, Never in Doubt by Donny Deutsch, very good book, great mindset book. Hey Alex, what do you think about Google Shopping ads for dropshipping? You teach that? We didn't teach that, but it's I think it's a good platform. Good ROI can be achieved with Google Shopping. It just the volume won't be that high, right? So you can get it to, I don't know, maybe a few $1,000s a day, but then you will have like a ceiling with that. So you'd have to expand to search or other platforms like Facebook, for example. First question, does it recommend to turn off a non-performing ad set during scaling? And second, yes, you can turn off non-performing ad sets and ads. I answered this question. And then second question, is possible to get Instagram shopping for ineligible countries? Very good question. That's one I am not familiar with. You would have to ask in the group, and I'll ask my rep. So you tell me what country you're in, or and I'll ask my rep. Clement, is your course also for beginners or only for people who are already making sales? Mostly for people who are already making sales. If you're a beginner but you have the budget and you have the commitment to basically figure it out, you can invest the time and financial resources, then we can see if we can help you. There should be a link somewhere, so you can just apply and we'll see if we can assist you. What do you feel about emojis in copy? Be moderate, like don't do like too many of them, like one emoji like is okay, like two, like, but not do like, don't do like for 100 of them, because Facebook doesn't like them, and you might actually get your like account flagged or your ads disapproved. So if you use Facebook, Pinterest, Google Ads in one store, get sales like from Pinterest source, and how it will affect all of the pixels data. It doesn't matter, like Facebook will optimize for purchasers. If like buyer profile is there are a lot of brands that are advertising on different platforms, if you think about it, right, and they still utilize Facebook advertising successfully. You cannot segment just people who purchased from the certain like from a certain source. So as long as there are like not enough data and these are like real buyers, then your pixel data should be good. Yeah, so I good job. Thanks Aaron. What's your experience using direct marketing, using email as getting cold data from Facebook and Google Ads? Oh, I mean, man, I just identify the one platform that you want to figure out, and just figure it out one platform. It's like, seems like there are a lot of different platforms that you have in here. But yeah, you can definitely retarget all of these like on a small budget, definitely, and use Facebook just to acquire people into your ecosystem for sure. Yeah, but I think I've answered this question before. So could you advise fulfillment center for EU? Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you have, just shoot me a message, and I'll send his names. I'm currently targeting worldwide. Yeah, I think I've answered this question previously. Mira, yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, Emmanuel. So guys, yeah, I'll have to go. I know there are a lot of questions. Wow, it's there are a lot of questions from you guys. Thank you very much for for taking the time. We'll try to do these calls more often, try to dedicate time for them. And yeah, thank you for jumping in. There are resources if you want the CBO cheat sheets, or if you're looking for personal help scaling your Facebook ads and e-commerce business, then there should be links somewhere here. So also, if you're not on our group on Facebook Ads Rockstars, just make sure you join as quickly as possible, because you'll learn a lot. So yeah, thank you very much, and yeah, I'll try to answer all of these questions for you guys, and yeah, I'll see you next week, or when we'll do the session, we'll definitely announce it, and we'll do it for you guys. Thank you very much. Bye, guys. Music control.
Short delay. We wait and see.